pleasant morning, ladies and gentlemen of the Malacañang Press Corps. Welcome to our press briefing. To deliver a statement regarding the President's official visit to Japan, we have today ASEC Marie Banaag.
Magandang umaga, Sweden. Magandang umaga sa ating lahat. 21 October 2016, Manila. President Rodrigo Duterte will undertake an official visit to Japan on October 25 to 27, 2016. The visit will build upon the government's policy thrust of enhancing relations with our neighbors in the region. During his visit, the President will meet with Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe to discuss matters of mutual interest to both countries. The President is also set to make a state call on His Majesty Emperor Akihito. Prime Minister Abe, in his congratulatory letter sent immediately after the President's election, extended an invitation to visit Japan, which the President graciously accepted when the two leaders met at the sidelines of the ASEAN Summit in Vientiane, Laos last September. The official visit is seen to further bolster the strong strategic partnership between the Philippines and Japan. A broad scope of bilateral discussions between the President and Japanese leaders will include security, economic and defense cooperation, infrastructure development, and development projects in Mindanao, among others. Japan has been the Philippines' top trading and official development assistance partner in 2015 and years prior. While in Tokyo, the President plans to meet with the Filipino community, which numbers almost 400,000 in Japan. He's also set to meet and speak before Japan's top business leaders. The President likewise plans to observe the process of Japanese shipbuilding as maritime cooperation between the Philippines and Japan continues to progress. 2016 marks the 60th anniversary of the normalization of diplomatic relations between the Philippines and Japan. High-level exchanges between the two countries mark this historic occasion, which began with the visit to the Philippines by Japan's imperial couple early in the year. This was followed by the visit of Japanese Foreign Minister Fumio Kishida, whom the President received in his hometown in Davao City, August 2016, and the meetings of the President with Prime Minister Abe at the sidelines of the ASEAN Summit in September in Laos. The President's official visit caps these exchanges, which highlights the warm ties of friendship shared by both countries. The President places great value on the Philippines' vibrant and dynamic relationship based on mutual trust and respect with Japan. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, ASEC Marie. The floor is now open for questions.
Sweden, I'd like to make some points here. As to Bagyong Lawin, we would like to thank our government agencies and private individuals who have been so supportive during the monitoring of Typhoon Lawin, and to our local government officials who have been so aggressive in the campaign in order for us to lessen the damage caused by Bagyong Lawin. And with that said, we have official reports from NDRRMC, but some of the casualties during Bagyong Lawin are still being validated. 7 from the Cordillera region, 1 in Region 1. In Region 2, we have 3. And we still have 2 missing persons. We are trying to get in touch with other provincial disaster risk and management councils, but nahihirapan po tayo because of the the telcos, yung walang network pa, wala pang electricity, kahit may network siguro, hindi sila makapag-charge ng kanilang mga baterya. But right now, Yusek Halad and DG Howie and our crew from TV4 and other officials of the DSWD, other officials who are members of the NDRRMC, have started kaninang mga 9 a.m. papuntang Cagayan Valley and Isabela para magkaroon ng aerial inspection at para maghatid na rin ng mga pagkain at iba pang mga goods na kinakailangan ng mga ating mga kababayan na evacuees. And on another note, again po, we would like also to reiterate our asking for more pagmamalasakit para sa ating mga kababayan na nasalanta ng bagyo. We'd like also to make announcement that yung MC10 na in-issue po ng Executive Secretary natin na si Attorney Medjaldea, kung hanggang kailan po yon, we will leave it to the discretion of our local government officials as to when na pwedeng practically na makapasok ang ating mga kababayan, mga estudyante, mga kasama natin sa pamahalaan, kung pwede na po, kasi yung ibang lugar binaba, hirap tayong mag-monitor kung pwede na po. And yung iba naman, pwede naman nang pumasok, so we will leave it up to the local government units to declare whether they would be going back to school or not, or they would be reporting for work or not already. And with the announcement on Republic Act 10923, yung postponement po ng barangay elections, we announced that last Tuesday. We can give a copy of that already. And on the matter of the statement of the president while in China about cutting U.S. ties, we still have to wait for guidelines. There is no rush po for us to interpret the speech of the president, as we have to wait for guidelines pa that would be coming from him, from the Department of Foreign Affairs, soon as they come back. And as to the dispersal of our Lumad brothers and other protesters in front of the U.S. Embassy last Wednesday, was that Wednesday? Last Wednesday, the president has already made announcement as to it that he is looking into they're looking into and they're investigating on what really transpired before that incident, and soon as the president comes home, he will make further announcements as to what really happened. And we know that General Bato has already released a statement pertaining to that he is so saddened about what transpired there.
Okay.
Yes.
The floor is now open for questions. First question. Yes, sir. At the back. Sir Ron. Use the microphone, please.
Good morning, ma'am. Ron Kalunsod of Kyodo News. Would you know, ma'am,
Ron.
who will be the part of the official delegation of the president when he goes to Japan?
Ron, right now, I don't have a copy of the official delegation, but we may have a copy the day before they leave. We might have a copy because it's with the DFA. So since 25 to 27 pa naman yun, we might get a copy before that.
Okay, next question. Any more questions? Tina Mendez. Microphone, please.
Good morning,
Yes,
ma'am.
Tina.
Do you have an idea or if the president will bring up the issue on comfort women during his visit?
That, of course, we still don't have any idea whether the president will bring up the comfort women issue with the Japanese officials during his state visit.
Question? Christian Esquerra.
Christian.
I'd like to ask about your statement that there's no rush to interpret the speech of the president. Parang I'm just curious about the word that you use, interpret.
We would not like to interpret the pronouncement of the president so that once it's in paper, it's clear as to what the president really is wanting us to um, have with regards relationships with the United States.
So are you saying that even if the president has already announced in China that he is separating from the United States, there's still no paper whatsoever to back it up?
We will wait for them to arrive because everyone is in China. So I think the question should be dealt with by them who are in China, because most of them are there already. Perhaps they might have a paper for that. But for now, we still don't have something to read in order for us to properly comment on the U.S. relationship statement of our president.
But were you surprised? Was the palace surprised about that very strong statement?
I cannot comment on that surprise thing.
Mm. How do you think should the public at this point, because there's this time frame between the president's between today and the president's arrival, so how should the public interpret this statement of his that he is separating from the United States?
We should not make any interpretations yet, and it can wait. So let's not make any haka-haka muna about it, because once the paper is in, I don't think it would be needed for us to, there is a need for us to make haka-haka on that, because once the paper is out already on that matter, then it would be clear kung anong direction ang tatahakin po natin.
Ma'am, what paper are you talking about?
Any policy direction which would be on paper.
But have you come up with a paper containing the policy direction of the previous statements against the United States made by the president?
Christian, I cannot comment on having first a paper before the president announces
No, ma'am.
it.
I'm talking about the previous statements that he made against the United States. Parang the first time that he criticized the United States, for example, when he said it's time to end the joint military exercises with the US, meron bang paper na sumunod after that statement? Kasi baka lang for all we know, wala ring susunod na statement, wala ring susunod na paper after this particular statement made by the president.
We cannot preempt Christian, but what we can only say is that once there is announcement, with whichever agency has the jurisdiction to craft the policy on that matter, they should address that.
Because the US says that they are yet to receive any document
Yes.
supporting the pronouncements made by the president. So yun nga, baka naman puro salita yung lumalabas. Wala naman lumalabas sa papel. So those to whom the statements are directed wouldn't know how to react officially.
We leave that to the wisdom of the president, whether it should be on paper or not.
Okay. Well, finally, how should the international community, in particular the United States, receive this latest statement by the president?
We cannot preempt nor dictate how the international community would react to such statements. That is their opinion, and we would highly respect that.
Thanks.
Okay. Rosalie, cause of UNTV.
Ma'am, aware po kayo sa nakatakdang pagbisita po ni U.S. Assistant Secretary of State for East Asian and Pacific Affairs, Daniel Russell, para rin po hilingin ang pagbibigay ng linaw dun sa mga naging statements po ni Pangulong Duterte sa China?
For now, we are not yet aware of that, but we would be prompted by DFA soon as the official communications has been given them.
And then, meron din pong mga nag-express din po kasi ng pagkabahala doon po sa mga naging statements ng Pangulo, yung mga American businessmen na nandito sa Pilipinas, and then yung mga Filipino businessmen na nasa United States of America. So, meron po ba tayong assurance sa kanila na wala tayong dapat na ikabahala sa mga naging statements ng Pangulo, gayong wala pa naman pong clarification or malinaw na panuntunan patungkol po dito?
Opo, thank you for that. In fact, that is, on the light of that matter, since wala pa tayong pagbabasehan na papel, hindi kailangang mag-worry or mag-react tayo kung ano man yung nasabi ng Pangulo. Since wala pa sa papel po, especially for private businessmen dito or yung mga nasa Amerika, wala po tayong dapat ikabahala. Kung meron man po na tinutukoy siguro ang Pangulo dito, it would be government transactions. But I'm not interpreting. Christian, tumingin ka.
Okay, next question. Any more questions? Yes, Leila?
Clarification lang, ma'am. For the President's pronouncement to take effect and become policy, would you need a formal issuance? Aren't his words enough?
As to that matter, kailangan din kasi para ma-interpret din officially ng, especially with the official transactions with other nations, it should be something that should be in paper so that makasagot din sila in paper. Kailangan po nila yon para klaro yung meets and bounds kung ano ba talaga ang coverage ng isang pronouncement ng presidente.
So, is there room for the pronouncements to change unless it's, put on paper, made concrete?
That we cannot preempt.
Last question from Christian.
Last na ba? Did the President consult anyone from his cabinet before he issued this arguably the strongest statement so far against the United States in China?
Well, wala pa kaming natatanggap na balita whether meron or wala. Christian, perhaps soon as they arrive, we can ask that from them, from the delegation who would be arriving.
Not to put you on the spot, pero it must have been a difficult job to to try to explain or delay any explanation on a particular statement made by the President and just say that a paper supporting it might be or might not be forthcoming. Kasi parang that's how that's how it appears so far. Tama po ba?
I'll not comment on that, Christian.
May tanong siya, mas maganda.
Or ma'am, you're just as confused as
Well, not really.
Everybody
I'm
is.
sure may direction naman yan pagbalik nila. It's just that we are not the right authority to give or interpret what the President has announced.
Ma'am, good morning.
Good morning.
Did you ask some of the officials in Beijing nung lumabas yung statement, ma'am?
We have actually asked Secretary Andanar, and then the same din po ang sasabihin niya, itong sasabihin ko ngayon na we would not preempt and interpret the meets and bounds of the pronouncements of the President.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, just one last question from Rose. Yes.
Ibang topic lang po. Pala statement po sa Pulse Asia Survey, most Filipinos approve of the quarterly performance of President Duterte.
Well, if it's positive, we would be so flattered and we are so thankful sa mga kababayan na, of course, hindi naman, imposible naman talagang lahat ng kababayan natin, gusto nila ang lahat ng palakad ng gobyerno. And kung mas marami ang nagtitiwala pa, kung mas marami ang naniniwala pa na may pwedeng magbago, na nagmamalasakit ang gobyerno na ito, then we would be thankful for the survey and yung opinion ng ating mga kababayan.
All right. Thank you very much, Assistant Secretary Marie Banaag.
Sweden, thank you. Maraming salamat.
All right. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen of the Malacañang Press Corps. Back to the main studio of PTV4 and Radyo ng Bayan.